Planning and Zoning Commission meeting to order. You all should have gotten minutes in the mail. Is there any corrections, additions, or comments? If not, I would accept, and all those in favor of accepting it, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Report of recent city council actions, Tom?
So you had at the last meeting, you had 2 items. You had a rezoning on Olive Street and a vacation for basically that property the university owns. The city council meeting after our last planning and zoning meeting ended up being canceled because of weather. And so the city council they've held the public hearing on these items, but they have not voted on these items yet.
Okay.
So nothing to report.
Any comments or questions for Tom? Okay, thank you. We have one public hearing this evening, a final plat of the Highland Phase 1, a residential subdivision in the R1 subdivision residential district with a PUD zoning overlay to create 87 residential lots. At this time, we'll open the public hearing. Tom?
All right, and I guess I'm entering the staff report and attachments into the record. And so we have, as you said, request for a final plat. Turn it to the zoning map. This is the entire property. You've got it highlighted in purple. And then the entire property is zoned to R1 with the PUD overlay, as you said. And the red thing popped up should be, basically that's the area of this phase 1 that we're talking about. So to get started, this is the look of the preliminary plat that was approved last year with the PUD that was approved, and I've got the area of this phase 1 kind of highlighted in the preliminary plat. What you're going to see a little bit later on is it looks pretty much the same, but there are some differences. So we'll talk about that. But that's the area, the portion of the property of the development that's being proposed to be platted at this time. All right, so let's just get through all this. The plat, I guess first of all, there's a portion of the property up in the northwest corner there at Osage Drive, and I guess it's Country Ridge, I think, Road. Got it highlighted in the purple. There's your 2 lots that the applicant, they submitted as a minor subdivision. So the minor subdivision is something that's reviewed at staff level, and so we've already reviewed that and ready to approve it, but has not quite been recorded yet because what a part of the minor subdivision is that all the utilities and whatnot needs to be in place, and so these 2 lots are not quite yet served by sewer, and so they're working on getting that done. As soon as the sewer is in, we'll be accepting that plat and recording that. So this subdivision does not include those 2 lots. Then also wanted to point out this parcel A that is technically a part of this plat. It's the remainder of the property. That's not these lots that we're looking at. The reason why they included that is because there are some easements that are outside of the regular platted lots. And so technically it is platted as one big lot at this time, but it's not really being developed at this time. It'll be further subdivided as the phases go on. Then the phase 1 area of this plat. I'll talk about it in a little bit more detail. This part of the plat, so then I've brought up that area so you can see it a little bit closer. This is 23 acres out of the entire 145 acre property. This is 87 lots out of the total development is going to be 580 some lots. This part of the plat includes 2 common lots, so that's what popped up in green. These common lots include things like the stormwater detention and some of the recreational amenity areas and the utility type areas. I also wanted to point out part of this plat includes Heatherfield Drive. That's what the name that was chosen for this collector road. That's the one that will connect from Highway 72 through the property and eventually connect to other properties and onward to the west. That one it's got brought up in the black dashed lines, so you can see what I'm talking about. Then I wanted to point out this area in particular. The plat in general seems to be substantially the same as the approved preliminary plat and PUD. There are some changes to some lot lines and things like that. But this area that I highlighted in red is the area of the most difference. Basically, they were able to reorient the lots and squeeze in one additional lot in that area. But other than that, it's pretty much the same as what you've seen before. Also wanted to point out, if you've driven out past that area, you may have seen a bit of activity out there. They're putting in a driveway, and what that's for is for a temporary sales office that'll be located off of Osage Drive on one of the common lot areas. That one is there just temporarily until the next thing I'm going to talk about is constructed, and that area is the model homes area. So this cul-de-sac off of that Heatherfield Drive is going to be kind of these model homes. They're going to build those. Each of these lots are going to have some of the different house types that will be in the subdivision, and so they'll be for people to go in there and see what these houses will look like. And one of those will be used as a sales office once it's ready. So just in general, as we're looking at a plat like this, we need to be looking at it for consistency with the comprehensive plan, design compatibility with the immediate area, make sure it has adequate infrastructure. You can look at the impact on traffic. It needs to comply with all city codes and anything else you hear at the public hearing. Did want to go through and just make sure you're aware that the improvement plans for this development have been submitted, reviewed, and approved. That the improvement plans cover the water, the sewer, the streets, the stormwater, all that stuff. Some water infrastructure will need to be extended as a part of this development to serve this phase. Some sewer infrastructure and a sewer lift station can be built with this phase to serve it, and also the larger development as it is developed. All the stormwater, streets, and amenities for phase one are being built with phase one. So it's one of the things that was brought up during the public hearings with the PUD and the larger development is each of these phases need to be self-sufficient, and so that is how this phase one has been designed. I also wanted to point out that a traffic study was done for the development. Has been submitted, reviewed, and approved by MoDOT, and city staff is kind of a part of that. So what was agreed is that there are some roadway improvements that will need to be done. What was agreed is that they will be done at the end of this phase one and before they move into phase two. What will need to happen is there at Heatherfield Road when they build that, there'll be a turn lane basically on Highway 72 to turn into there, and then same thing, some improvements at Osage Drive. So just to summarize, this appears to comply with all the relevant zoning and subdivision requirements for the plat. It's also substantially in conformance with the approved PUD and preliminary plat, and the related improvement plans have been reviewed and approved. Do you have any questions for me?
Tom, down where the demonstration homes are, that's they're going to put in a thing to go out to 72 highway.
So where the model homes are, that is off a cul-de-sac that is off of that collector road. So the model home area will not have a direct access to Highway 72. But
Okay, so they don't have to put in a road hitting 72 right now then, right?
That is a part of this phase one, yes. The Heatherfield Road, let me go to that slide there, the one with the dashed lines. That collector road is a part of this phase one, so there will be a road that comes out to Highway 72, but then that model home area is a cul-de-sac off of that road.
Yeah, but they're not putting that entrance going out to 72 right there yet.
Yes, they.
Well, we'll ask him.
Well, yeah, I'll let him speak in the details, but yes, part of phase one includes Heatherfield Drive, which is access to Highway 72.
Okay. Any questions for Tom? Comments? Okay. The public hearing is open. Anyone wishing to come and speak on this issue may come up, state your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes to talk. I think we'll give you a little bit more so you can explain things, and go from there. So if you would like to start.
Sure. My name's Christian Miller. Address is 17415 Outer 40 Road in Chesterfield, Missouri, 63005. I'm here representing McBride, the developer. I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have. I think you guys have a pretty good understanding of the project, but I'll field any questions and try to bring any light to any questions you might have. So,
Well, I guess the first one again is that where it goes on to 72 Highway.
so we will be building Heatherfield Drive out to connect to Highway 72. We did a traffic study with MoDOT. We had an outside consultant do the traffic study. We submitted it to MoDOT. MoDOT reviewed it. Those two turn lanes, so the one onto Osage and to Heatherfield, are not warranted until there's about 87 lots. So MoDOT's given us permission to not construct those turn lanes until we built out phase one. But they have to come before phase two.
Okay.
With that being said, I mean, there's still going to be a connection built to 72. It just wouldn't have a turn lane. And then, we may or may not build it now or later, since we are making that connection anyway.
Okay.
But that's our agreement with MoDOT.
Okay. Anyone else have questions?
Any length of time, just for public knowledge, of how long you guys think phase one will take to build out?
The phase one infrastructure, I would think about 6 months.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're talking infrastructure on that, you're not talking the homes.
No, the homes will not be built out in 6 months.
You have a ballpark figure of when you think the homes will be completed?
The homes will be built on a timeline with sales as well. So, I mean, it could be from anywhere from a year from now to a year and a half from now to 2 years from now before that whole phase is
But you are-
built out.
You are going to have some model homes.
Yes.
Way.
I mean, homes we will start building homes as soon as there's infrastructure in there. That's our plan.
Do you have a number on how many of each type of home, the price range is an example that will go into maybe either the example homes or the whole phase one thing?
I mean, I can't speak on price off the top of my head. I know that, our website has those prices on it already. If you guys wanted to go look at our website, it's going to show you the home types that are available in phase one and the prices for them.
Okay. Anyone else have questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to come and speak to this issue, please come forward. If not, we'll close the public hearing.
Do you have any questions for me? I'm just,
Yeah, any other questions for Tom? I'm sorry.
Tom, the only other thing that came to my mind was, you pretty well said it's in scope stayed the same from what the preliminary plan was, except for that one area where there was like an additional lot they were able to put in. Is there any concerns? I'm assuming you guys have looked that over and don't have concerns on that, and it works and stays within the agreement with them in general?
so, I want to just say that you reopen the public hearing, because we
Oh,
want to
I'm
have.
sorry, we
this
need to
part has be
reopen
on
the
it.
public hearing.
Yeah, and then,
I'm
so
sorry.
to answer your question, no, and not worried about that. It's in general, it's in substantial conformity. That's the word that it says. and because it's basically the same thing except for just that little area. The fitting in one extra lot didn't really raise much concern. In fact, our PUD area, when it talks about what level of changes can staff review, it talks about a 5% increase in density. So that would technically mean they could add 5% more lots if they could make it fit. Problem is, if you were to actually do that, it would cause a major change in the layout and all that kind of stuff. So, but a lot here and there as they find it, I don't have a problem with. Any other questions for me before I read the alternatives?
Any questions for Tom? Comments or anything?
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, we're approving this area to begin with,
Yes.
but we're also approving the final plat for the entire development, right?
In a way, the final plat technically covers the entire development, yes. Because
So
the
when they get
parcel
ready-
A is
when they get ready
a
for
parcel.
Phase 2,
Yeah.
are you gonna have to bring that back for our approval?
Yes, 'cause it'll when you have more than, I think it's 25 lots, it requires you to go through a final plat process, like regardless. Yeah.
Seems redundant.
It is. Anybody else? Comments, questions?
All right, so as you go through this, you can find that this request meets the criteria for approval, and so recommend City Council approve the final plat. Or if you find that it does not meet the requirements, you need to state those reasons for disapproval, and so recommend the City Council not approve the final plat. Or if you find that there are some corrections that are needed before you can make a vote, you could postpone it to the next meeting so they can make those changes. But you can only do that with the consent of the applicants. Basically, when somebody turns in for a plat, the way the state laws and or ordinances reflect is that you can't just sit there and sit on it for a long time. So you've got to do something with it to pass it along. But if you do need more times for them to make corrections, it's only with the consent of the applicant. So just wanted to, this is the first time we've had one in a long time, just wanted to make sure you're aware of that. Any other questions for me before you go to deliberating?
I guess I had one more. Are you gonna wait till you have the demonstration homes built before you start taking people to buy homes? Or are you gonna start, if they wanted to buy a lot and everything today, you could do that?
So we'll have customers pick out a lot based on our plan, and based on the models, and they design their homes at our design studio in Chesterfield, and they can come in, pick out all the amenities, fixtures, the exteriors for the homes, and then we custom build it based on their selections. So they do purchase it before we build the home.
Right, no, I understand that. I was wondering if you were gonna wait until after you have the demonstration homes built before you start taking those.
Not necessarily, because, they can go to some of our other homes in other communities,
Okay.
go to demonstration homes there, check those out. But they are an amazing, tool to be here locally for people to go see the products and make a decision.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak to this issue? Tom?
Just, again, making sure you didn't have anything else before you close the public hearing again.
We're gonna close the public hearing. Tom, is that okay?
Sounds good.
Okay. Okay, any other comments from commissioners? I would entertain a motion then.
I move that we accept this proposal.
Okay. Need a second?
Second.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
Second was Monty.
Roll call vote, please.
Kreider?
He's not here.
Oh, Sherman?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Just a point of clarification, you're moving to recommend approval to city council, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other things, Tom? Dawn? Anybody else?